Good morning.
Good morning. You know how to share your screen, Mike?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You can just share the agenda.
Okay.
And I'll make you co-host.
You know what? Yeah, okay, do that. Yeah, and I'll have to find it back here. Get it up.
Make co-host. There you go.
Okay, just let me go down here and find it in my McKinney Rotary files.
Because I'm at home and I don't know where it is.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I'll get it. I'll get it
Okay.
here.
Good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
I can't see you.
Well, I got a new computer and I'm having some issues.
Oh, okay.
It's great to get a new computer. It's just a little challenging on getting everything kicked up.
Yep, that makes sense.
Let's see, that's last year's agenda. Let me close that a minute and see what, maybe that's what I'm using. I did. That's what I'm using. Celeste, did you? Oh, she's not there.
I am.
Oh, did you see my note about how many people viewed the recording that I mailed out? Can you tell how many people actually viewed that? You know, I know like on YouTube it puts a counter on there, but I didn't know on Zoom if it. Morning, David.
Hello.
Nice stash. Like that.
Thank you.
I'll have to look.
Okay, I was just
I'm
wondering.
not sure.
I'm just wondering. David, this other group I'm in, they haven't met since way back in March. So the guy sent out an email Monday. He said he's now able to put his hair in a ponytail. We have one guy in the club that wears a ponytail. So now they're going to have a contest when they get back together, who has the longest ponytail and who has the biggest beard. You know, have a competition.
That's funny. Can you make your screen larger? I mean, your full screen. There you go.
Yeah, I can do it full screen. If I do it in, I found when I did PowerPoint the other day, the issue was it blocked out my Zoom and I couldn't see it. So.
And then do view and then do like 200%.
Okay, make it bigger, you think? Okay.
Yeah. I usually do it at like 200% and then people can see it better. Click on Zoom.
Yeah, I did.
Zoom and then 200%. Okay. There you go. There.
There you go. Ron Johnson just texted me. He's got a family situation that came up, so he's not going to be joining us probably.
Okay. I'll be. Oh, thanks.
Yep, me too.
Won't drink the powder, but they'll eat the gummies.
I haven't, but candy.
Uh-huh. They only like the red ones,
You,
not the orange ones.
I'll eat the orange ones.
morning, Becky.
Good morning.
Will this be your final red badge activity?
I'm bringing my husband to the meeting tomorrow.
All right.
Then I'm done.
Awesome.
Morning, Cece.
Hello, good morning. Morning. Let me get my coffee.
It's a cold outside.
Oh, it's really nice.
Hmm.
The dog and I did our walk this morning. It's 59, it says right now, but it was about 58 or 57 this morning, which was very pleasant.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Cassie.
Good morning, Betty.
Betsy.
Betty.
Yeah, we have a group name. Betsy works for both of us.
Yeah.
Give us one badge. We'll share the badge.
The two B's.
There you go. We're a team.
Uh-oh, so I'm getting emails. I'm going to open up here just a minute. So you'll be on the screen, Sharon and Bob Thomas. Let's see what Bob is saying. Need some help today's Zoom broadcast. Can you please send details?
Well, it's
Okay.
below in the.
Yeah, well, that's the meeting notice. Let me go down here to, and let me see what Sharon says. Cannot find your email. So let me just re-find the email here.
If they just add it to their calendar when they get the email, it's way easier.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning. Morning.
Morning, Stephanie.
I can't see you.
I have my video turned off.
Oh, okay. I was like, where is she?
No, it's okay. I'm here. I I'm multitasking, so.
All right, who do we have here?
I hear somebody texting on their phone. Cheek, cheek, cheek.
We'll give it just a second for see if Bob and Sharon get in.
God bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Hello, David Kelly. You trying to wake up?
Yeah, I am still waking up a little. I'm coughing and sneezing and just kind of getting all my, just getting going.
I see.
No. Oh, shit. Thought you were already gone. Sorry.
Well, I don't see that they've joined. Do you have to let them in, Celeste?
No.
Okay. All right, there's Sharon coming in, so, okay. Welcome, Sharon.
Thank you.
See if Bob gets it. Bless you. All right, it's 7:33. In respect for people's time, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. 7:33, and we may have a couple of people join us a little bit later. Like I said, I got a text from Ron. He's got an issue. He's not going to be able to make it this morning. I'd like to open with a prayer. Would anyone like to lead us in a prayer today?
I'll be glad to.
Okay, thank you.
Please bow your heads. Our most divine and gracious Heavenly Father, give us hearts of gratitude for all of our many blessings. Please help the world and all the people in it to heal and this virus be a thing of the past. Please protect all of our healthcare workers and first responders, everyone in your gentle hands, and comfort us during this time of unusual circumstances. Please also protect our military wherever they may be in this world. In Christ's name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Secretary reports. Mr. Potter.
Okay. I had two corrections to make. I have not uploaded or sent those back out from the minutes, but Mike and Celeste, thank you for catching a couple of things. Does anybody else have questions regarding the minutes?
While you're in there, you might go ahead and take, I think David may still be listed in there as treasurer, so I'm not sure. I was thinking I saw that, but it wasn't worth rewriting. Okay.
Does anybody have questions on as they were sent out?
I make a motion to approve as amended with changes.
Second.
Okay. Did you catch who made that motion?
I did.
All right. We had a second.
It was David.
David second. Yes.
It was.
All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. President's report, I want to mention three things. First one quickly is the nomination committee, as I've been listing the last few meetings, has recommended a treasurer and our president-elect nominee positions, and we're going to vote on those at the June 19th meeting. So all the protocol that needs to happen ahead of time for those two slots needs to take place before that meeting, because that's like a business meeting that we've had scheduled all year, and that's where we'll elect those officers. Also, next, I wanted to mention that we talked about allocating the funds. We now have around $4,700, and we said that the funds from the meal portion of it, we said we would split it 25% helping members, 25% doing first responders and frontline personnel, 25% on food banks, and rest to RI. What I would like to recommend is that maybe we look at 4,000 of that, and on helping people, the only thing we've had so far is 2 people not wishing to pay the meal portion of it. So that's all we've had there. But what I wanted to see was if we could get, I know Mark had signed up for it, but he's really busy with work and flags right now. Seeing if we could get something going on the, mute your phone, please. I'll mute mine. Get something going on the first responders and first people, frontline people, excuse me, can't get my tongue straight. It'd be about $1,000 for that activity. And I know that CC and Frank had both volunteered to assist or work with Paul on that. So
Mike, can I just interrupt for a second and
Sure.
step back? How much money in total are we talking about?
It could, okay, as I said in the original meeting, it could be around $10,000. But remember, we may start meetings back up, so it may not be that much. So that's why I'm saying we only.
Well, but does Kathy have an idea of right now how much money it is?
Yes, I just said that. Plus, it was in our meeting. I said $4,700.
$4,700.
Okay.
And so I said, let's go with 4,000 and kind of divide it by the 4. And right now, the 2 emphasis I think we would consider is doing the first responders and the food banks, because those are the urgent needs right now. And then we can do an RI donation. But so far on helping club members, I've only had 2 requests.
Hey, Mike, I'm happy to help with CC and Frank if they want to, we want to get a meeting together with however we want to do this, whether it's
Okay.
through Rick's or what have you.
Okay, let me make sure we've answered Dave's question first here. Do you have other questions about that, Dave?
No, no, I'm good.
Okay. Okay, Mark. Yeah. So I think we want to be cautious. We wouldn't want to spend too much, but we've collected the money, and under good faith to our members, we need to get going with it. And I think the first responders and the food, CC, if you'd be willing to work with Mark on that, just raise your thumb, and there you go. I think he's talking, but he's muted.
Should we?
You muted yourself. Okay.
There you go.
Should we talk about it now, or you want to talk about later?
I was going to ask, is there any objection to doing it? If there's not, then I'd like to ask that committee to go ahead and get together and go figure out plans how to do it.
But, oh yeah, we can do that. So the total available budget is $1,000 for the food, right?
Currently,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, we, me and Frank will work with Mark, and then we will immediately send a report.
Okay.
Just for your
Right.
information, one thing is we mentioned to use Rick Chophouse so we can help him. I agree with that, but one of the problems is $1,000 is not too much to buy products from Rick's, because his products are pretty expensive.
Yeah.
For the last 2-3 weeks, I have been helping a couple of other organizations to do the same thing in Parkland hospitals and a few other hospitals. To give you an example, we probably know Adam Ark, who is the food service suppliers for most of the institutional deals. They are providing meals for the nurses and doctors and those kind of people for the voluntary organization for their cost. You can get a meal, full meal for $4.99 if you directly negotiate with the suppliers and vendors of the hospital. So, you know, if you give us the freedom to negotiate all that, then we will give you a report.
Yeah, I think you guys have the freedom to do whatever you want. Rick's doing pretty well right now. He's already sold out this weekend for Mother's Day and stuff like that. But however your team decides to do it, Mark and CC, that's fine. We voted it in. That was one of our thoughts at the time, was helping that restaurant. So whatever y'all come up with, I just think we need to keep a tight rein because we may need the rest of the money for something in meals again. We'll see. But there's $1,000 there to start with. It could be if we don't need more assistance for members. I got a feeling there's a couple of people who haven't talked to me yet about some membership issues. So I don't want to give that money away yet, but it should increase as dues come in. Right now, we've collected about $4,700 is the reason I'm saying that number, just using that for our first benchmark. So if y'all have got that action, that's great. The second piece I wanted to ask was Sharon Scott, if she would work with the local food pantry, the one in McKinney that we've worked with. They said she'd already talked to them about, they said they didn't want food, they wanted money because they can buy from the North Texas Food Bank and gift cards. So I'd like to ask Sharon to work that if you would.
Mike, I would be glad to if I can do it just by telephone, since I have that rare eye disease and have to give myself those
Right.
injections. My immune system is 50% of normal, and my
Right.
doctors do not want me going anywhere or doing anything. So
I think you can do it all virtually. You know, you call them, have a
Okay.
discussion with them, get everything worked out. You can get a hold of Kathy and deal with checks being mailed and all that kind of stuff. Right?
okay, uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay,
And we'd like to ask them to send us a letter or something, acknowledging it. That way we can, record it that we did it and that type of stuff.
okay.
So, Mike, one more thing.
Yes, sir.
Anybody wants to, contribute food products, instead of us getting the vendors and suppliers, all these hospitals and all these places already have negotiated excellent prices right now. So instead of we go directly, go with the suppliers and vendors, so we make a much better deal.
Okay.
So just provide the funding, talk to them, and that's much easier.
That might work. Whatever makes it whatever gets the most bang for our bucks and helps the community, I think, is our goal.
Yes, sir.
And then I think just give it a little bit of time, and then we need to respond to the we know that David did send out some stuff on the RI, but we'll cover that later. But we know there's some money there for that potentially too. Okay.
But I don't have discussed.
Sorry.
I'll be in touch with Frank and Mark, and we'll give you a report.
Yeah, Mark said he'd set up a meeting with you guys.
Okay, good.
Okay. All right. Then the next thing I wanted to mention, and this gets a little tricky, is Frank has been talking with Rick's about getting us going again on May 22nd. It seems May 15th through 18th is kind of the big release period. You know, GM's going back, Collin College is getting ready to do their thing. Everybody's gearing toward that area. So Rick says they can handle us and they'll set up a program, make sure we're safe and so on for the 22nd, but we'll have to make the call on May 15th. The biggest issue that I've found so far is how do we tell them how many people we're going to have there? Another organization I belong to, like the one I'm going to tonight, we're doing go to meetings right now, but normally we meet at a hotel. We have a reservation system where we cut off on like the Monday before, and we don't have that in our system, as well as I'm not sure if I send it out, anybody, our members would actually give me a firm reservation or not, or acceptance or not. That seems to be a trend with our group. So that's the risk. We have to pick a number and pay for it, regardless of how many we get there. But so I may send out an email to people asking for them to vote, saying if we go back on the 22nd, how many would attend in person, and see what happens. So,
Mike, can I ask something?
sure.
What about the older individuals within the club? Obviously, they may not feel comfortable at this point in time going for obvious reasons. Are we going to make sure that you know, they're not counted absent and that kind of stuff?
So what we'd said earlier, we're going to try to figure out how to do Zoom at that meeting too. And I think we can do it as far as the presentation part. What they won't be able to see without a remote camera is they'll only see whatever. You've got the PC, look at it, make sure it's got a camera and a microphone on it. A lot of the older PCs don't, but I think it does. But we need to probably load Zoom to that and so on. And we'd run a Zoom meeting at the same time to start with. And if you'll recall, when we had John Moser in our meeting, he indicated that's kind of the wave of the future. They're all going to start looking at trying to do a dual situation for at least some period. And I've actually had a couple of people say to me, why don't you guys just have 2 meetings a month in person and have the other 2 meetings in, you know, virtual? So I don't know. There's different things the boards can decide over time. But what my biggest concern is, we're losing, don't lose the momentum. Try to keep people engaged, keep them involved, you know. So
what kind of precautions is Rick going to do for the meeting? I think that needs to be sent out with whatever we send out, that, you know, we're going to be spacing the tables, sitting every other chair, just whatever he's recommending.
Yeah, we will. He's talking about a sit-down meal instead of buffet, and we have hand sanitizer like we had at the meeting that nobody showed up at on March 16th. No, sorry, March whatever it was, the last meeting we had with the Owls and the Hawks there. We had 19 people there, but we had actually set up a lot of, you know, hand sanitizer and things like that. But there's 2 questions. One, he's available, but he can't do it unless the laws have changed to allow him to do it, right? And so that's why he's working with us on it. And he has to meet certain guidelines, and he'll do that. That's part of the restrictions.
Mike,
Yes.
just one comment. The state is going to announce the second stage on what, 17, 15?
Yes.
18.
18. Do we have to set a date for 22nd? Can we wait another week? Because by that time, almost all the restaurants and hotels probably will start opening and playing with the systems and the in a format. If we wait and see how all these things are done, and probably do it the first week of next month, after everything is open, I don't know, looking at the demographics of our people, we may want to delay that a little bit, you know, the 22nd date, just my opinion.
Yeah,
Well, and the 22nd is Memorial Day weekend too. Not that a lot of people are going to be traveling, but if they do.
right. And also 22nd is not firm, and we're just asking. It could be the 29th, or like you say, even in June, but we're just targeting, starting to put plans together. Rick's not doing anything. We have to let him know on the 15th, and he's also going to share with us what the latest guidelines are at that time, because they're changing all the time, right? So
I would say we shoot for the 29th.
Okay. We
I
can do
think
that.
that would be more firm.
I agree.
And I've just got to say, put this 2 cents in also, the decisions seem to be being made by the politicians and the doctors and nurses. I have yet to see any doctor, nurse, epidemiologists, or scientists say that we need to be opening up as fast as we are.
Absolutely. So, okay, it's just a target, and as we've said, it's nothing firm. I'm just wanting to let you know that we've had discussions with Rick's, and they said they've got a way to accommodate it. We just need to let them know so many days ahead of time, and I targeted the 15th as the date for that one, and we'll make that call. And then the last thing I want to mention is you need to get your budgets in to Kathy and Paul Spartman, because we're getting ready to get things together for next year. We're less than 50 days away from the end of the year. On the 19th, all you chairmen need to be preparing, because we're going to have a meeting to go through a quick review of our strategic plans, goals, and objectives. And it's a business meeting. It's been on the calendar for all year. And then we're going to probably break down in groups and have people work with you. A good way to get the club more involved with each of the committees, similar as we did a couple of years ago. So that'll be coming on 19th. So you need to be working on your plans and your budgets as chairman. That's all I had on the president's report. Sorry it took so long.
Yeah.
What time is that on the 19th?
Sorry.
The 19th, you said.
It's in our meeting. It's in our June meeting. It's on the schedule.
Oh, June 19th. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
June 19th, we're voting on officers, and we're going to go through all our reviews and plans for next year.
Mike, I may have missed it somewhere. Who is the nominee for the next president?
Oh, I purposely haven't published them because the nomination committee gave them to us, but they're supposed to be run through the PPAC and reviewed and suggestions made before they come to this board to do it. So I just haven't mentioned them. I can mention them if people are good with that. Or you want to wait and let the PPAC look at it. Now I've gone blank on the treasurer. Robert Thomas III is our president-elect they're suggesting to come in, and he'd be a president in the future. And Harold McLeod as the treasurer, and Harold's ready to be the treasurer now.
Okay. Do I need to schedule a PPAC meeting?
Would think so.
Okay, I'll get that.
But you ought to probably want to do the budget and the review of those two at the same time.
Okay. Just let me know when they're ready. And
well, I keep asking people to send the budgets in, and I think Flags has done it and Stephanie's done it, and that's all that I'm aware of.
yeah, I have all of those in the foundation budget.
Yeah,
updated, so.
yeah. I'm not worried about the foundation. I was more worried about the club.
Okay.
What are our membership plans? What are this? What are, that kind of thing. So. Okay, right. Celeste, you're up anyway. Go ahead.
All I have is I've been posting the recordings of the meetings from Zoom onto our Facebook page. So anyone that misses a meeting is able to go back and listen, or those that can't get on at the time that we're on. And it seems to be working well. And our attendance is fairly good at the meetings, almost the same as what we would have in person. So I think it's working well.
Well, we're running about 35-ish to 40, and we're only getting about 28 members. So but hopefully we'll pick it up.
Yeah. That's all I have.
Okay. Spartman?
We had a Rotary meeting last night at 6:30 with the district. They did mention, and I'm glad, Mike, you already mentioned the budgets. They did mention we're down to the 50-day mark. They talked about some of the concerns other Rotary clubs were having. They talked about really trying to get out and start publicizing our meetings with Zoom, try to talking with some of the other clubs or membership may be dwindling in some cases, and we certainly don't want that. Talked about the website updates, trying to do that. Obviously our goals, again, Mike mentioned that a while ago. They did say some clubs are talking about meeting just 2 times per month, and 2 times per month is required by the district. But it was a good meeting. I've got the PowerPoint presentation. If anybody has an interest, I send it to Mark, but happy to send it to anybody else that has an interest of the PowerPoint from last night. And that's all I have.
So you hit on one thing, and I was hoping that when membership was here, I was talking with Alex Johnson yesterday, and they've been calling all their members that haven't been making the meetings and checking up on them, making sure they're doing okay, and also letting them know we're missing. And we were kind of doing something similar to that, supposedly, and this would be a good time to follow up on that. If all of us just stopped and called 1 or 2 people, we could probably increase our attendance back to where we were in physical meetings.
That's a great idea, Mike. That's a great idea.
I'm trying to minimize my emails, but I sent out the standard notice on Monday morning. I sent out the one with the recording, hoping that would encourage people to look at it. And then, of course, the one I sent out this morning, reminding people of the meeting tomorrow. Because,
right.
And so, but I'm trying not to send out more than that because Rotary inundates you with email.
And then the 22nd, we have the family law, Larry Martin talking, but the next meeting on the 29th is the one with the Holocaust.
Oh, yeah.
And so that would really be a great meeting to be back up at Rick's if we can.
Okay.
I think, and I need to get back with her and make sure that she knows we're going to have it there if we're going to have it there.
Okay.
The city voted to go ahead and redo Louisiana, Mike. I don't know for sure the exact timeline to start, but they're going to be doing 2 phases, one right there by Rick's, and then the second phase down there by from Tennessee back to McDonald. I will try to get with the engineers and try to see which way they're going to go with that. But I know some people may have an interest. Since COVID-19, parking is plentiful downtown. Hopefully it starts picking up, but there's a lot of empty spaces. In fact, some downtown merchants are telling me, which I have the luxury of talking to a lot of them at their wish, but probably about 1/3 of the restaurants downtown may struggle to remain open. So what I'm saying is should be plenty of parking spots. The only obstacle may be the work on Louisiana Street.
Okay. Thank you for that. And also, will that inhibit the shuttle from running to?
I'm sure it's going to, but we'll figure out something. We'll go down Wood Street. We'll figure something out.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Right. Kathy, would you address the finances, please, ma'am?
Okay, on the club, we've got 32,000 in the bank, and we have a profit of 18,000. And did everyone get financials?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And our receivables are 10,000 on dues as of the end of April. I've gotten a couple of checks since then.
Okay, so, okay, good.
And
So
I'll
you-
let you know that, Mike,
Okay.
where we are with that.
Okay,
Foundation, we've got the CDs at 52,000. We've got 60,000 in the bank. And we're running at a loss of 4,300. That's mainly because of the global grant. If you look at the difference to last year, it's just about what our global grant came to.
Yeah.
So, and we've got about 4,000 in commercial flags due in receivables. Are there any questions on the financials?
the only thing that concerned me is some membership dues are getting a little further behind, and
Mhm.
I'm concerned that a couple of those people, they haven't been participating as well as not paying money. So that could be preliminary sign that we may lose some people.
And Kathy, on
Yes.
the commercial flags, are those ones just compared to years past, or are they ones that have registered, just not paid?
What do you mean registered?
I mean, I would assume they pay at the time of registration. So you're probably saying 4,000 is owed based on who participated previous years.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Those are
'Cause all
invoices
those-
that I send out.
And that list has been called, so we probably need to call it again.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like Robinson Ridge, HOA is a big one. Craig Ranch, we haven't heard from Craig Ranch, AG Power.
Bob?
I'll take them. You know, I haven't been going there very much lately, but I know the golf course is open, so we'll swing by and renew they've had a year ago change in ownership, and we'll make that connection once again.
Thanks.
And Kathy, if you want to pull together that little list again, I know it's changed since last time, then I'll divvy it up and we'll make phone calls again.
Okay, I'll get it to you today.
Okay.
Any questions on the finances? Please look at those details because that's very important. Do I hear a motion to accept the finances?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Celeste made a motion. David seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. All right, foundation.
Is that me or so?
I'm sorry, Celeste.
I sent out the report with a lot of details, so
Right.
if you have any questions, just let me know.
Super. I thought it was excellent. Love the details. Thank you. Any
Mhm.
questions for Celeste? All right. David Kelly.
Yeah, same. I sent out the club fundraising analysis and details on what we're going to need to raise by the end of the year. I will be on the meeting this week. I'd like to make
Got muted. Oh,
I'd like to make an announcement about donations there. I basically would like to make an announcement at every meeting through the end of the year to try to pump up the last probably $1,000 we're going to need.
Okay. And we also,
We made $280 on North Texas Giving Day, the road online. So I would say that we could direct that to the Rotary Foundation, because that's what it said in there.
Okay.
We don't have it yet. I mean, it takes a little while for them to send us the check, but that was 4 donations out of 4 donations, we got 280. So
Wow,
that's good.
excellent.
Great.
Any questions for David?
So
or-
that just puts us to about 700 remaining.
And we've got about 1,000 earmarked, so
So we're good.
yeah, I think we're close in there. All right, anything else for David? All right, Stephanie, please. Youth Services.
The biggest thing is that Camp Ryla has been canceled this year. And I know that was a big decision for the district, and they're not super thrilled that they had to do that, but felt that it was the best decision. We have already paid for 4 campers, so that's $2,800. The Ryla has given us several options of what to do with that money. We can leave it and roll it over to next year. We can ask for a full refund, or we can donate all or some of it to the Ryla Foundation. They do, even though they're not doing Ryla this year, they do still have the Winter Summit and the Ryla podcast and some other things that they do for Ryla alumni that still needs funding. So I guess the board just needs to decide what we want to do with those funds. I would recommend that we at least donate some of that to the Ryla Foundation to support them. However, I'm not sure what y'all want to do with the other. My other thought was for international giving to use some of that, but it sounds like we may not need to do that. So that is what we need to decide on.
Tell them how much it is. Tell them how much it is. It's $2,800, isn't it?
Yes, it's 2,800. I think I said that, but yeah, 2,800.
Could we do a third to the Ryla Foundation and then apply the rest to next year? And then I can deduct that out of our budget, out of our foundation budget.
I'm sure that's doable. So that just is I imagine the board probably needs to vote on that, or however we need to.
Yeah, that's what we need to do, is probably decide what we want to do with it.
Right.
So what was your proposal again, Celeste? Please say it again.
1/3 to the Ryla Foundation and 2/3 to apply to next year's Camp Ryla, and just let them go ahead and keep it that way. We don't have to expend it, or they don't have to issue a check back, and we don't have to send another one. So we'll be 2/3 committed for next year.
Second.
Sounds good.
That would be about $925 roughly to donation.
What if we would just leave 3 applicants, 3 campers carried over, and just make the donation to the Ryla a little bit less?
So it'd be 700.
Yeah.
That way we only have to pay for 1 camper next year. That's a good idea.
Okay, that's a good idea.
That's almost what we did. It'd be 700 versus 900, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
We'd have 3 campers qualified, prepaid for 2021.
2.
Are you
No.
making that in the form of a motion?
3. Yes, I'd make that motion. 3 campers paid for.
and
And-
then that way we would have to pay for the 700 next year for one more camper.
If
Yeah.
you have 4, yes, that's correct.
Yeah, and we do have to you have to have 2 males, 2 females is the way we
Right.
do it. But
Yeah, and we'll have the same, they already have made that clear that we'll have the same amount of campers as we had this year, and all of that's going to stay the same how it does year to year.
Awesome.
So that's not going to change at all. Yeah, I would second that, to do
Okay.
700 as a donation and to roll over 2,100 towards next year.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Awesome.
Okay,
Anything-
so I will reach out to them and just let them know that that was the decision. Other than that, I don't really have anything else.
Okay, great. I had a little insight into the logistics they had at the camp were going to be almost impossible. Imagining them having to try to do all that cleaning and sterilizing and everything daily with 1,000 kids running around. Anyway, it was just a financial nightmare. So they're not going to be able to do that. So great. Thank you.
Mike, before you move on, I'm going to have to jump off here and
Okay.
work, but I forgot one thing for CC. The district grant report is due on May 15th. Wanted to make sure that you knew that. Owen Devlin from the district pinged me yesterday to make sure we got our district grant reports in so that we're eligible for grants next year.
It's in.
What report are you talking about? The receipts for the 2 matching grants or some other report?
Owen said that I guess there's annual reports that are due on the district matching grants, which would be our Meals on Wheels grant this year.
That's already got.
Those reports are due by May 15th.
Yeah,
It's
that's
done.
Not receipts turned in, but a final report.
Yeah, it is a final report, and he says that our club has outstanding final reports for its work with Meals on Wheels. Please follow up with CC to get the reports filed.
Yeah, there is a form which I filled up and already gone last week.
Okay. Well, I guess we need to make sure he has it.
I'll call him.
Because as of yesterday, he's not aware that that's been filed.
Yes.
Yeah, it goes to John Curtis and he has it.
Okay.
CC and I talked about it last week, and it was done. I got a reminder too. So.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
And also there's a Rotary Roundtable this Saturday, and John Curtis will be presenting in that. If anybody's interested, go to the district calendar and you can get all the information about the meeting off the calendar.
Hey, Mike, we don't have to register for that. I have the link. I can just log in, right?
To the roundtable?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. No registration required. All right. Anything else? All right. No parade. Sharon.
I have nothing.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay, you'll work with the food banks virtually, and we'll figure out something on the charities here as we get closer. And by the way, I'm getting a lot of positive feedback about the fact that one, our charity of the month, there's 2 clubs have already told me they're going to copy that, as well as they like the idea that we're doing stuff, actually doing the service rather than just writing checks all the time. Right? You know, there's actually some concerns that some clubs, that's all they are, they write checks. And so anyway, great job, Sharon. All right, so membership's not here. He sent out a report, there's nothing in the pipeline. We'll need to re-gear that activity, because I am kind of convinced we're going to lose potentially a couple people toward the probably right before the end of the year, and that may inhibit our citation award. Right now, we're good with our new members, but that may not be the case in the future. Someone have something to say there? All right, Cece?
Well, just those 2 matching grants, all the receipts and reports are gone. John Curtis have it. Other than that, there is nothing else to report on the grants and international projects. The only one comment to Mike and Paul probably, are we going to have a budget meeting before this June 19th meeting?
I hadn't thought about that.
But usually we do.
Okay.
Well, so we could have it, but we can also do a lot of it in that meeting. As far, you talking about the board members getting together?
Well, usually the incoming president and the board members and the committee chairs sit down and discuss next year's budget for each committee. So we need to discuss that before the June 19th meeting.
Well, what the thought was is at the meeting, we cover the basic stuff, and then you break out in groups and do it there at that meeting.
Well, that is not a budget meeting.
No, not the budget. Not the budget, but
Talking about to discuss the budget of each committee with the incoming president and president-elect. Because there's a lot of line items need to be filled up.
Your call, Paul.
Yeah, I understand, and I guess we need the budgets in so we know, I mean, know more about what to talk about. As soon as we can get the information together, it's good for me.
We've done that the last 2 years at Habitat.
Yes, we did.
Sorry, no, I'm not on video right now. This is Stephanie. I just as somebody who has only been in the club a couple of years, I really appreciated having those meetings. Even though, like, even if I was in the same role, it was nice to kind of review everybody's role and get to know each other as kind of the new board and go over those planning things and expectations. So I just a perspective that I would kind of side with Cece on that. I think it would be a nice idea, even if we did it over Zoom, to just have kind of a little get together as the new board. But so that's just my thought.
And I've already got the agenda and roles and responsibilities and all those types of things I pulled together and sent to Paul a while back. That we'll actually use probably in the meeting to remind people what everybody does. So.
Okay.
All right.
I do have one question while you're on grant applications. Is Kathy still on? Yeah.
Yes.
Did we get back the MCDC reimbursement for the parade?
Yes,
Okay,
we did.
good.
All right. Flags.
Okay, so I looked this morning and we're up to about 950, and all but about 15 of those are have been sent out to the individuals to prep for. I did post on the website that on the 15th of May, that's the drop dead date for renewals and or new installs, to give us time to make sure we get everything prepped and ready for Memorial Day. Let's see. We need, one thing I do really want, a handful of people to be there on the day of flags, the days they go out, come in as backup, stand by, because I know Mike and Paul have done that in the past. I know they're willing to help a little bit as well. I've done it. I'm gonna try to reach out to Harold, see if he will, and Andy as well. Those are really like hot shot people who run out and, you know, if a flag prep was missed, they run out, put it in real quick so the flag can go in. We just need those for the day of. It just helps field complaints, I guess I should say. And I guess that's pretty much it, except for a work day. We're trying to organize a work day to at least get, let's see, if we have 950 flags, let's say we have 1,000 by the time Memorial Day comes around. And right now we have about 880 that are all ready to go. So we probably need 150, 175 flags replaced in the storage building before Memorial Day.
So,
and when I say replaced, we have a large group that just have the tattered flags. We just need to unscrew them and screw in a new flag on it.
So what I would recommend again is that when we have the meetings, you pick a day and you have a meeting and you say, hey, I need people at so-and-so and this date around this time to do this kind of work, and they'll help instead of, and people will show up, but they got to know about it to be there. And of course, we have to make sure we don't interfere with Habitat's business because they're also on a restricted thing. But you kind of need to pick a date and announce it, and also on our club runner, you can send an email to everybody in the club real easily. Just go to email service and boom, you get everybody and say, hey, we're having a flag work day at so-and-so time at such and such place. Please be there. And you get some helpers. But if we don't ask for it, they're not going to come.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. We do need to ask for it.
And the
Hopefully
same
we
way
can,
on backup crews to do things, not just installs, but who missed a flag, go do it. Yeah, you can't do
Yeah.
all this by yourself. You're gonna kill yourself.
any questions?
Mark,
Mark, do you
Yes.
have a count on how many flags Craig Ranch has?
I think it's 3, if I remember. You're talking about the country club, right?
Yes, sir.
I think there's 3 out there. I have to look in the system, but Mark can let you know.
You talking about TPC?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think they have,
There's more than
when
3.
I went out there the other day, I think the list said 6, and
Oh,
I was only able to find 3. And I have that highlighted to go back and hit it again. But I think they did some painting or stuff, but I think the list said 6 of
We
them.
have TPC on here.
Craig Ranch TBC. I know I put 3 out there last year.
It was on my list, Kathy. It's Craig Ranch TPC.
It's not on this list I'm looking at right now. All we've got is the Craig Ranch community, which is like 12.
Yeah.
But TPC
Well, they
is not
haven't
on this list. Maybe they
Well, they're
paid.
not on the list because they haven't renewed, Mark. That's why
Okay.
Oh, they didn't renew last year, did they?
yeah, Bob collected last year.
Mhm.
Oh. Well, maybe I didn't send them an invoice. I'll have to look.
And
Send
I'll
them
be
an
curious
invoice.
about Craig Ranch HOA. I know Paul had issues with them last year as far as documentation and various things that they required, but you know, we'll see once Bob engages them.
I'll do that this week.
Mark,
Yes.
how's the total number now compared to this time last year?
Probably, Mike, wouldn't you say about 100 short?
No, actually, last year we did not do the aggressive marketing just like this year in November and December. So last year in April report, which ended at the end of April, we were at 891. This year we're at 918-ish at the
Okay.
end of April. And at the end of May last year, I sent this out in email. At the end of May, we were at 1141. So we jumped 200 flags when we put out the first flags, right? And we're already at close to 950 now. So we're actually ahead of last year. Compared to the year before, I think we're about even with the year before last.
Which makes it more important to get those flags prepped and ready because it's a short turn between Memorial Day and the next day. What's the next day? Flag Day? And,
Yeah, we got Flag Day in June, and in the past we've had somebody responsible for that, and they worked that getting those flags reworked. Dan James and then Sherry Parks following that. So
Excuse me, I show 5 flags at TPC Craig, and I did mail
maybe
them
it's
an
5.
invoice.
You can mail them an invoice.
I did mail them an invoice.
Thank you so much.
Well, I'm thinking maybe they paid because they're not on this list.
I'm not looking at my list right now, but it seems like that was on my list. But we can go through that.
if you
Well,
had
we'll
them on
check
your
mine.
list, do you have them on your list to install?
I feel that I had them on there, but I'm going off memory.
Okay. So they
can
may have
look at it.
paid, Bob. You better,
They may have paid.
yeah.
Okay.
So when is Flag Day? I'm looking at the calendar and I don't see it on there. Father's Day, U.S. Founded Day, Army Founded Day is the 14th. This thing's got every flag thing on it in the
I thought
world.
the 14th was Flag Day.
It is the 14th.
That may be what it is. Yeah,
14th.
Flag
June
Day,
14th.
14th. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I'm sorry, it was U.S. Army founded Flag Day in 1775. Oh, no, U.S. Army was founded in 1775, and it's also Flag Day. Okay, anything else for flags? Any other comments from anyone else? We still have 5 minutes. Betty, Becky? Betsy? Whichever y'all answer to. Y'all have anything?
Oh, I do have one last thing. Celeste, I was
Yes.
gonna go back in and double check the sign up Genius, but I believe we're pretty much covered, right?
I will look at that today and let you know.
I think the
Soon as I
last
have
time we
time.
talked, I just wanted to double check and I can go in and look at it too, but I think once we raised the payment, you said they came in like crazy and all signed up, and I believe they took them all over.
I'm not positive about that, but I will look.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Because I have one group that may be interested.
Okay.
All right. There's the dog barking at us.
Mhm.
All right. Does anybody have anything else? All right. Well, I hope to see you tomorrow at our Zoom meeting. We've got the neck and back doctor going to be there, and we'll see how that goes with the outside speaker running Zoom and see what's happened. So hope you have a great day, and I'd like to call the meeting to adjournment at 8:27. Anyone has a
Y'all have a great day.
Yeah,
Okay.
thanks everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe.